Good afternoon, live from Radio Row. I'm Roy Kessel with Sports Philanthropy Network, and we're very excited to have with us Charlie Batch. Charlie's been an outstanding quarterback in the NFL, but more importantly, he's doing incredible work in the community. So, Charlie, thank you for being here, and welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I know that you've got a great amount of success, right, not only on the field, but you've been able to parlay that success on the field in terms of really making a difference. When did that start for you? When did you have that vision that you wanted to use your athletic success to make a difference?
Yeah, when I was at college at Eastern Michigan, I lost my sister to senseless gang violence, and she was only 17 years old, and never had an opportunity to live life. And I said if I was ever in position to give back, I would. And was trying to do something in my family that's never been done, which was graduate college, and then hopefully be drafted by one of those 32 teams. And I was drafted by Detroit in the second round in 1998 draft. And immediately after that season, started the foundation, which was called Best of the Batch Foundation. So we started January of 1999. And we did some one-off programs in Detroit, and then ultimately when I came back home to Pittsburgh, I thought it would be my only season in 2002. And then ultimately we redirected our foundation goals into Pittsburgh. 1 year turned into two turned into 11, and now here we are back celebrating 25 years of Best of the Batch Foundation, and it's just truly a blessing to be able to do so.
And it's incredible work, because I don't think most people understand the fact that very few foundations last more than 3 years, right? Most NFL players, the whole career is only 3 years. Very few of the players have the ability to sustain a foundation beyond their playing career or 2 or 3 years after their playing career. So having a 25-year track record, that takes an enormous amount of time and effort and really dedication from you to making that successful. So you started it while you were playing,
right,
which is something that's unusual. Talk a little bit about like what caused you to start that, like in the midst of your career. You're still fighting to stay in the league.
Right. I think for me, you don't know how long you're going to play. That's number one. But you also want to put infrastructure in place, and to be able to do so and be at home. And people now didn't realize I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh. So having the opportunity to play at home, build relationships, and people understand what your passion is. And for us, they understood. We focused on education, and we're making sure that we were now being able to be able to service kids and be able to do so in the manner we started out, with just a basketball league, simple basketball league. We had 125 kids, 25 volunteers, and by year 3, we were over 300 kids and 100 volunteers. So we're really on to something. So from there, in order to play in the basketball league, you needed to read a book and attend 4 mandatory study halls. And from there, the kids started to continue to grow. We added more and more programming together. We ended up getting our office space right around 2004. And from there, we were using every inch of space. So whatever the program was, that's what our building looked like during that time. And as we continued to move forward, our numbers started to go in 2000, and now here we are, 3,800 kids a year later. It was like, okay, what's next? And for us, we knew we wanted to become bigger, and we focused on, we say education, we focused on STEAM programs, which would include A for Arts, and then ultimately our after-school programs. And we literally just went from 5,300 square feet, that was our existing building, and we just expanded to 33,000 square feet.
Wow.
We just opened up April of this year, or 2024. We did a big ribbon cutting, and just to see the support that we've had, and everybody to come over and support individual corporations and people to come over and believe in the mission and vision of Best of the Batch Foundation, it was truly humbling for my wife and I to be able to do so. And when you see the kids come through the building, they don't want to leave, which is why we built it. And it's just truly fascinating to see all the support and being able to blend the hospital system into our community project. It was just truly a blessing to be able to do so.
So 25 years of success is incredible. You've shown enormous growth, right? So now, taking a look back on it, when you were starting, what tips would you have for for a player that's trying to start their own foundation?
Well, build relationships, right? It's one thing, when you're playing, you focus just on ball. If this is a passion of yours, go out there and build meaningful relationships and the impact that you have. Tell your story. Don't be afraid to tell your story. Make people aware of what you're doing, but also in the off season, take the time to go back into your hometown, meet with the community leaders, see what they're looking back. Okay, what are your stakeholders asking for, and see if you're able to now create that. And as you continue to build it, use a platform like this, right? And I say that only because when I was in Pittsburgh, we were Super Bowl 40, we were in Detroit. And I looked around, and after we won the game, and I remember all of this, the prominent people within the state of Pennsylvania was at our victory party. And I told my mom at that particular point, on my family, we sat up at the table, I said, give me an hour, I have to go around and shake people's hands. And I would shake their hands, hey, here's what we're doing with the Best of the Batch Foundation. I would love the opportunity to meet with you here in the next couple of weeks. And sure enough, I was in Harrisburg, and I was meeting with all the decision makers and telling them what we were looking to do. So by the time we ended up going to 2008 and Super Bowl 43, I had built relationships with those guys that were there, and it was now being able to now just carry on things that we were looking to do. So I say all of that to say, don't be afraid, to use your platform, tell people what you're doing, make them aware, but also travel different. And when I say travel different, when you're young and you're playing, you focus with headsets on, don't be afraid to have a conversation with just the next person next to you. And you just never know where that may lead.
Well, you don't know, and I think you raise a great point, which is investing into that while you're playing. Mm-hmm. You've got an ability for the doors to open while you're playing that's very different from when your career is over.
Absolutely.
And so people will sit down with you, they'll start those conversations, and you've got to have that sincere interest in growth, which you guys have done. So take a quick look ahead. We're standing here on Radio Row. You've got a ton of opportunity to speak to people. What are you looking at for the next 3 years?
Well, for us, we're continuing on just with our programs that we're doing within. So, we're preparing. We're already in second quarter of our foundation as we prepare for the calendar year, and we're focusing on. We have a summer day camp that we have. We have 250 kids that are with us for 4 days a week for 8 weeks in the summer. So we're preparing for that, getting our counselors that are in there, making sure the programming is where it needs to be, and then ultimately, you're getting ready for back to school, that is a conversation that we're talking about, and of course, holiday drives and things of that nature. So, for us, as we look at the next couple of years, just more or less just trying to create more programming, but also, making sure that we can create those experiences for people who are walking through the Best of the Batch Foundation's buildings.
Great. Well, I know you filled out your card there for the
Yes.
Wall of Philanthropy, so let's have you stick it up here.
Yeah, so what I'm doing, Best of the Batch Foundation is up here. And it's important to me because we focus on education and making sure that, yes, you understand what it looks like from a professional football player at the end of the game, saying you made it to the professional ranks, but also making sure that people are pouring the love and support into you and making sure that they can help, make sure that they can help go out there and build your dreams, create their visions, and you never know the stories of these young kids that are walking through the building. So we're super excited about that. That's why I'm passionate about Best of the Batch
Amazing
Foundation.
Stories. Thank you for coming on with us today, Charlie. For Sports Philanthropy Network, this is Roy Kessel, your host, reminding you to live generously. Thank you.